Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think we just cut into the stream. Sorry, technical difficulties. Thank you, Cruise Master, for pointing things out. A very good first take out of Sadistic Autistic that you missed, but then they have really been struggling working on the second point. They just engaged a fight 6 alts v1 and lost pretty badly, but still sitting at 5.5 minutes here to try and push down this second point.
Is the stream
Can't
up?
feel
I don't
too bad.
see it.
You probably just have Fast 5, which is pretty screwy.
Oh yeah, it is. No worries. So that was a really interesting push. Now we've got it looks like a pretty split offense coming out of this. They're hopefully trying to distract
Yeah, this is
the April Wizards
himself to start this fight up. So this is got this going for the engage. They get a nice blizzard coming down onto this left flank, and they pick off Zeticus and Sword. There are no healers for the Wizards, but Crystallize going down, so there's no res for Sadistic. It's a 2-man advantage for Sadistic right now. But think twice, trying to make a big play here. Only gets one with the Rocket Barrage, and now Sadistic holding this point, which gets capped very fast here on to do this. But Sword
Mace
breaks down.
big ult.
He's able to buy a lot of time, but this ice wall going to not create enough pressure, as it's looking like a retake's going to happen from the April Wizards.
Yeah, right now it looks like they're defending pretty well, but all of the members are back here.
Salvo
For those
going
that died.
tactical though, and he gets Chromatic down, Sword Mace down. These members are being started off, and everyone just steps off the point. There were multiple bodies close to the point there, but they just slightly got pushed off, and ends up being capped by Sadistic.
Yeah, that was a really quick push.
And play of the
overall.
game gonna be Valkyrior on Zenyatta. I think going to be, yeah, right at the start of this last fight. Goes in, just knocks down Zeticus, and then
Taking down a healer to start it, and then just applying a lot of damage as Zenyatta. That was... I can see it on Twitch.
1 sec, I will tab out and check. It looks like it's fine. I'm assuming he was getting messaged in the first half of that map, but the stream is fine right now.
Are we good to continue? Are we still live?
We are still live. We are good.
Okay.
So sorry to Sadistic, you're not gonna ever get to see that first push. And now I will never know how Sadistic got that first push to work so well when things looked like they were gonna go badly. I guess they were
They ended up getting a couple lucky picks, and they lost their healers after losing 2, and they just lost the point.
It was really weird. From the angle I was observing that fight at, it looked like it was going to be just an absolute destruction for the Wizards. And instead they lost the point. So
Yeah, I think the team put a lot more emphasis on Chromatic's ability to take everyone down with the Widowmaker when they had as many shields with the Reinhardt and Maywalls to kind of just get past him. But we'll see what April Wizards can do here on offense to shake things up, maybe tie the points for this next map, or their turn on this map.
yeah, if April Wizards want to secure a first seed, they do not have much leeway. They're going to have to pretty decisively win out at this point. They needed to win 40-something to teen-something, if I recall correctly. And they lost a lot of that margin on this last map.
Yeah, they would have had to win. They have to win 41 points, including going even. So they would have to go even here and then pick up 41 points. And I don't know if that's possible anymore.
That is not possible.
Okay.
So unlucky.
Yes, as they say in the league. And that Winston jump out of
Zeticus on the Winston. By the way,
Yeah.
this is a solo heal comp coming out of the ability. Just Sword and Mace on the Lucio, the rookie. With a lot of
Well, what I was going to say
responsibility.
before I got tongue-tied is Zedekis jumped in as the Winston, and everyone backed off immediately. And April Wizards are just doing as they wish on this point. Tree the only person alive contending at the moment, and
Sword and
really
Mace goes
will
down
fall soon.
kind of late, though. And for some reason, no third member is getting on this point, despite there being multiple close. They need as many bodies on this point as they can, because they don't have a healer there right now.
Yeah, Zedekis keeps stepping off of the point, so it's just not charging as quickly as it could be.
I think he's just doing that to make me mad.
He knows you too well.
But overall, that was, you know, when you run an extra tank or extra DPS at the cost of a healer, that last fight was the best case scenario.
Right.
Where you just kind of jump in and kill everybody before they can react properly. And just take the first point. Very clean on the Wizards.
Yeah, and multiple people got low in this last push, but ended up surviving. Never mind, Sword and Mace and Shooter I just robbed as they tried to push from that right side.
Tree going back to his 31 trick roots, tosses a nice wheel over the wall. No chance to react out of sword and shoots.
Oh,
This next
great
fight
pull
here.
out of... Oh. Uh-oh. And no one goes down on the side of Sadistic Autistic from that Diva, and a counter Diva also takes no one down.
Yeah, those were some bad D-Diva ults. Somebody get Albano Joe in here so they can show them how it's actually done.
I don't know if you're joking or not.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
real.
it's the best Diva in the league.
A lot of ults low on the side of Sadistic Autistic where there wasn't much.
Yeah, they have to watch it. There's a big engage coming from the right side, though, and I think they were feeling a lot of pressure as Sword offensively drops the beat. Control's kind of being established on the point here out of the members of the Wizards, but they gotta watch out. Ball Sexy is in their backline, and
Just
actually
shooting
they're
people.
falling apart here. The Booer is almost back in the front, but this is a big man to defend. And Shooter Guy
great
really
ult.
wastes the hammer down there. It was a nice ult, excluding context, but when
Yes.
you're in a 3v6, you gotta just hold onto that ult.
He was hoping for more members to show up and help, but the only person that was nearby was so low they wouldn't have been able to do anything. So it just looked cool, which is all it's really about, right? I mean, we just want to look cool.
No, I like to win, actually. It's been a rough season.
See, that's why I'm fine with it. I just like to look cool.
No wonder we lose so much. Alright, so going into this next fight here, 2 ults to 0 in favor of the Wizards, and they are jumping in. Zedekis has been so quick to pull the trigger this whole time, but Think Twice did get killed on the engage.
Yeah, he
But
dropped really
Zedekis has done
early.
a ton to disrupt. And oh, that is 3 really fast kills there for the Wizards. They are currently 6v2 on the point.
Thrifty,
and
you have to get
gaining
back
advantage
on the
fast.
point. He was chasing people off of the point. They got half of
Oh,
the...
but Thrifty's buying a lot of time here. That was a really good self-destruct just to stall for his team, and he gets back into the mech as well. He hasn't given up the second Nashi, but now Lemur dropping a really bad ult.
Yeah, that was really
And
awkward.
Salvo coming in. Salvo mopping up all of the April Wizards.
They did get 2 bars there, so if they can... They have 5.5 minutes to get a third piece of the pie. Also, Think Twice didn't use his ult there, or he just got it. I'm not sure which. But we'll see what ends up coming out of this next push, as there's a lot more ults up on the side of Sadistic Autistic. There's 4 up, and Thrifty is close, and has it just about now. So the next push shouldn't work out very well if ults end up being traded.
If the players are good. But fortunately for all of us, this is the Baddie League.
Yeah, you don't get in the baddie league by being pro, that's for sure. We're applying some pressure from up above and taking a lot of damage, but just stays up. He's just being a nuisance as the rest of his team slowly walks in.
And Chromatic pops the tactical visor, creating a lot of pressure from the fear of God into the April Wizards, or sorry, the Sadistic Autistic here.
But they lose Chromatic and Zedekis. Think Twice.
Ooh.
Oh, gets
Oh,
almost
Tree gets a
full
double
off.
with the wheel.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but Think Twice got a lot of people down with his ult, and there were just too many bodies left on the point that he wasn't able to clean it up.
That was a really nice fight out of Sadistic because they didn't have to use many ults, just the Junkrat and the Zenyatta, so they had their other 4 ults available going into this next fight.
Yeah, what we might see is Zedicus on the Ana has the nano boost, and Shooter Die also has his ult. Blavur will have his ult, so they can really combo some of these tank bashing ults together here if they want to. Or they're gonna wait for Sword Mace to get his up, because he's at 80% on Lucio. A couple members going off to that right side through the tunnel. They've got 3 in there, 4 in there, 5 in there.
Yep, looks like we're gonna see.
The Diva's gonna launch her ult from behind.
Oh, that was really. Oh, he hooked it in! He hooked it in! Oh, BOL of Sexy just throws the game for his team. Forces the defensive res.
Oh, that was the worst pull that could have happened. No members.
And everyone stepped off the point. He stepped off. They got zoned off the point. Oh.
That was so awkward at the end. Oh, Ball of Sexy, that was not sexy.
Oh, I hope that's not the play of the game. Unfortunately for him, it's gonna be Salvo, so he doesn't get embarrassed on the big screen. And this was so big. Salvo comes in, doesn't even ult. He just finds heads and left clicks here to pick up 4 kills in a big retake that his team started off outmanned.
Wow, that was nerve-wracking for both teams, I'm sure. And yet, still a rather quick win. The defense having a hard time for both of these teams so far. But now we're going to King of the Hill, and there's no such thing as defense on King of the Hill because you're always attacking. So we'll see what these teams can do here.
And you know, I was thinking to myself as I saw that hook, that maybe Sexy was thinking like, man, I hope the Cassius doesn't catch this, because it happened behind his team, so they might not have noticed. That's the kind of misplay where he's like, I hope no one saw that, I hope no one saw that. But,
yeah.
Unfortunately for BOL is Sexy, I saw that. And that's going in a certain YouTube video next week, I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
That was maybe misplay of the season right there. Rough stuff. Cue up the clown music.
Yeah, I saw that happening, and I knew what Blavur was doing to launch the Diva ult as 5 others went in. The thing is, if he had just taken a step back and not pulled the ult towards him, they wouldn't have lost 2 of the members like they did.
Yeah, I was looking at that ult in real time, and when he dropped it, I thought that's maybe a 1 kill, and I didn't think it needed to be a few inches deeper, and it wasn't. It was really close. And then BOL is like a few inches, I'll give you a few feet, man.
Yeah, he's like, I'll help a brother out. Blavur is going to be happy because he'll be in the play of the game, but it's the enemy's baddie play of the game that he'll be featured in. But yeah, now we're heading over to Ilios, the well, which is famous for, and if you've played Overwatch at all, this map has a giant hole in the middle.
You want to hear
where
a funny
Ball of
story?
Sexy, Crystallize, and Tree playing Pharah, Roadhog, and Lucio, not necessarily in that order, are going to be trying to knock people into the hole. And the same thing is on the opposite side. So if we're playing the baddie league correctly, we should see lots of people fall in this hole.
The very first map I ever played when I played Overwatch in the open beta with Ilios, and this was the first one I played. I ran to the point, and I just saw a big circle with an arrow pointing down at, like, defend. So I thought you were supposed to jump in there and, like, defend something down below, and, like, 3 people SD'd right there. It was really embarrassing. I should have known to stick to League of Legends right there. But now that we're worth watching, Salvo on the Sombra, Chromatic on the Tracer, both pretty exciting picks as we start off King of the Hill here. And Crystallize and Zedicus will get picked really early here. These teams,
Zedicus tried twice to pull people into the hole, missed both times, and he was just taking too much damage.
Yeah, no members of Sadistic Autistic are on the point. Barrett going in the air instead of going down to the ground, even though we had teammates kind of close. And an easy cap for the April Wizards.
Yeah, that was really awkward out of the April Wizards because they had people running off of the point to try and kill people. When they just needed more people to stay on the point and they would have capped it faster. Granted, they still got it. But, oh, Sadistic gets pulled into the hole. That's one. I'm gonna start a counter.
Boss Sexy's like, how many hooks into the hole do I need to make up for that last game?
Yeah, and then he gets it.
Self-destruct going down to the side.
Oh, it picks up Sugar Die.
That was Salvo.
Oh, never mind then. But yeah, they're contesting. I don't see who's on the point. Oh,
Blur behind the ice wall, 1v1 in Salvo, but he goes down, but he bought enough time for teammates to get close.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's going to be a hold for the April Wizards.
The thing is, they have more people alive right now. So they, oh, and a great play out of Crystallize. His teammate was gonna go down from the Zedicus pull, so he bopped him back to pull him farther away from the well. So he just saved someone from falling down. But what I was gonna say about that last play is it was 5v6, and the 6 just didn't want to jump on the point. Sadistic Autistic was not feeling it.
It is looking so big that Sadistic Autistic gave this point up so early in this game because that was such a long contest.
Exactly. And people are getting picked left and right on both sides. I don't know if this map's gonna change at all for a retake or aside from any pressure that's just being applied.
Yeah, there's a big ult advantage for April Wizards here, and they get a nice deep freeze.
They'll be at 100%.
Oh, and he's off with that hook on Salvo.
That's 2. And they just want to keep people off the point, and that should be game as the May wall stops anyone from going anywhere.
Yeah, that was a really clean first map out of the April Wizards.
Yeah, I was expecting more people in the hole. Just didn't happen. So now we're heading to the ruins, which, if you like Greek architecture, is fantastic. If you like Overwatch, also fantastic. This means a lot of people are going to be running into the middle of the point, which is below ground, or, you know, a little bit below, and there's a lot of view for people to just get shot at and murdered from up above. High ground, very important, however, it doesn't get you point cap, so we'll see what people end up doing.
Yeah, this might be my least favorite, like, part of a map in the whole game, is Ilios Ruins.
Explosive damage is very effective here, so, just because people are, like, quarantined to the center of the map. Early pick.
Really early, and he was the solo healer for the April Wizards. This is going to be a really rough first fight, as they have to commit and jump onto this point. But CK gets picked, and once again, Sadistic was just playing really slow to get out of this point. They're now finally jumping out, and they're winning this fight pretty handily because they have healers and their opponents don't. And they've zoned everyone. No, Swordmace has returned, and now he is solo holding this point for his team.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can, and if he can hold long enough, they might not. Oh, they do get the first cap, which is the most important thing. If you can hold the first cap and get your teammates back, they can't score at all.
Ruins in particular to be very tough to retake.
Yes. Oh, Sexy. He tried for the fancy pull, but Blabur ended up being clipped, so he wasn't taken down.
Yeah, so the retake begins. Watch out, there is Think Twice on the Reaper coming in from a deep backline flank.
Zedicus ulted to get people off of the point. His ult stopped by Ball of Sexy's pull, and they both go down. Chromatic on the soldier, just applying damage.
Here.
Looking, yep. They're taking the point back.
Tactical visor
Salvo.
There's a tactical out of Salvo. He picks Chromatic, and he actually holds the point. And everyone kind of ran off after him. Salvo gets 2 kills, and he's going to be able to probably get Blur with a nice ice wall to save his life there. buys time for his teammates to come back. But this point was not given up by Sadistic. Big play out of Salvo to hold.
Yeah, that was amazing actually watching that. I don't know how many he took down, but
Ooh, a nice tranquility out of Valkyrie.
and a really good ult to freeze multiple members. Thrifty, however, oh, nope, he goes down, and he gets the ult off too, so even though the freeze happens, they take the point back.
Yeah, in the cluster, Sadistic just barely steps off the point, and now April Wizards in control here.
Yeah, Salvo making really good use of the high ground. If we did actually have MVP, it would be a curse because he just went down. But he's doing really well with that high ground.
Yeah,
and
Salvo
making a lot of plays today.
He's been looking like Salvo the league player this map. Just positioning has been excellent, even though you know he doesn't know what he's doing.
I mean, point and click, we're playing Call of Duty, right? We're all soldiers now. So, a lot of percentage points, still 30 on the side of Sadistic Autistic, as the timer keeps climbing up, and a split push comes out of Sadistic Autistic, and then they just rejoin with breaking it down.
Zedicus goes down to start this fight, and Sadistic Autistic are getting bodies in much better position on the point here as they are really forcing back the line from April Wizards, who still have a lot of ults they want to contest, but they lose Sword and Mist, they lose Shooter Dive, they lose Chromatic, and now this is not looking good for the Wizards.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just holding the point. Mei does that well. She buys a lot of time with the overall utility of the wall and then freezing herself. But they end up losing
Not
the point
enough.
almost
Percent
tied.
basically tied, yeah. It is worth noting there are a lot of ults available and a lot of ults close for the April Wizards, but they're going to really only have one fight left in this game. Is they got to wait for 66. They cannot afford to give up a pick right now.
And some good counter ults on the opposite side. Tree.
And there's a big Graviton Surge. Gets 4 into it. His Shooter Dive charges out though. And actually the April Wizards pick up 3 kills and they haven't even popped half of their ult yet.
Before it gets 100? They do. That's one of the most important times you can get an ult.
This is so big because now they're the one who's in control of the point and they have the massive ult advantage. They're 2% away from 4 ultimates here, where it's just going to be Valkyrie or maybe TK Thrifty Reaper and Ball Sexy on Roadhog on the enemy team. But
did
they
Salvo
do
get
not
picked
have
really
time
early in that
to
last fight? Because he went down before using his ult. Or sorry, did he go down before he used his ult? Because he just didn't use it. And that would have been huge on the 4 that were in the ult that just didn't go down.
Oh, but Zedicus gets picked here, so it'll be ult disadvantage, but man advantage as they April Wizards drop a April Wizard on the point, and everyone is ulting down.
A lot of bodies flying in and off the point, and 2 down on the side of Bone Zone. Or sorry, Sadistic
Down
Autistic.
a lot of damage on this Reaper. It's just before remaining, and he drops. This is control of the point.
Sadistic is trying to get to the point. Oh, he drops before he can do anything. Chromatic coming in, and I don't know if he's going to make it in time. No, he doesn't.
Not.
So we're 1 for 1 on Ilios.
Score 1-1.
Yeah, a really interesting series of events. But now we've got the Lighthouse. So very close corners inside the point. A little bit more protection so you don't get as much overhead shots. It still happens. But we'll see if the teams end up fighting outside of the point as much as they were this last round. Also, it reminds me that I want to be on vacation because this beach view, fantastic. Anyways, we've got both teams coming straight in, not heading to the point. It unlocks in 12 seconds, and they're just trading damage. Sadistic is going really low, does not fall. Ball of Sexy does, on the other hand. Sword Mason, Sadistic fall, and now we've got people fighting over the point. Multiple
Yeah, big
members
advantage. Oh, Chromatic jumps off. And it's gonna basically be a point given up to the Sadistic Autistic. There we go. Finish the fight off. They cap the point. Fairly clean. And that puts them in a good situation for ult going into this next fight.
Been here all along.
Yeah, that was a really clean take. And now they're just probably gonna play safe, have a couple people up front, apply damage. That Sombra is playing very far out. A Maywall to keep people. Oh, Salvo ult to disable everyone.
Yeah, and it ends up killing Sadistic at least.
And Salvo makes it out alive from 4 people just to fall on the steps afterwards.
But he might have helped buy a win for his team as they pick up 2 more kills, 3 more kills afterwards. And
yeah,
it's still going to be held by Sadistic.
Yeah, that ult disable is so annoying because if you're a melee champion or hero, all you can do is swing and hope the people that aren't can do some damage. Sadistic Autistic pushing up very far into this room. If they can get some ults here.
Yeah, Big Choice does pick off TK Thrifty on the side of that. And they're going to force the Transcendence out of Valkyria, who's trying to hold this point here. Big Choice goes down during the exile, 5v5 on the point, but Sadistic Autistic is really being zoned back here. And they have to go for an aggressive retake, but Crystallize dies before he's able to get his ult off. And the Graviton Surge is all the remaining members of Sadistic, and this is going to be a wipe by the April Wizards, who are retaking and have capped the point.
86%. It does mean, though, that if there's a wipe on the side of April Wizards, that's probably just the game, as everyone's going to be too far away to really recap the point.
Yeah, the Wizards are in a good place to dictate how this next fight goes. They have there are a lot of ults available. 2K50 gets picked very early, but so does Blabor. That is 2 ults taken off the map, so if Sadistic wants to engage here, they could.
Yeah, and Salvo and Thrifty went down. They both had their ult, and
Sword gets the boop on Salvo.
But we're seeing a nice defense. We've got more people on the point out of April Wizards than Sadistic Autistic was holding before, and they all file in.
And there's the Graviton Surge, gonna just buy the top. Zedekis goes down really early in this fight. Shurudai gets 2 with the hammer on this
really
point,
good ult.
And now Salvo drops the hat just for disruption, but his team has already completely fallen to pieces. And Shurudai gonna take Ball and Sexy with him.
Yeah, he just had to hit him once, but he decided to sacrifice his life to take him down. It looked cool.
He's going for the Pale Destiny approach. That is a look cool.
Yep. We'll see if it works out for them as they push really far forward.
Yeah, that was a really good fight out of the April Wizards, and now we're looking at we may not see another fight with many ults in this game. Not many players close, and not much time left.
Chromatic is the only one that's close. That Graviton Surge can be very useful at these late points in the game, as time is very sensitive.
Especially with no other ults to counteract it, which is looking like it'll be the case. As the final fight comes in, April Wizards rushing out of this point together. You guys gonna miss the shot, and there we go. The Graviton Surge is going to hit everybody. But the Nano Boost gets sorted based on the Lucio, but I don't think it's gonna matter because Sadistic Autistic are falling down. They do not get a single kill.
Wow.
And they lose Ilios 2-1.
That was very commendable on the side of April Wizards. That retake and hold, and like even though the Graviton Surge didn't look amazing because of and this is probably it, the Graviton Surge. So
yeah,
he's gonna
get I thought this looked amazing.
Yeah. Well, it just didn't look really cool because there weren't any else to pair with it, but they just cleaned up. They cleaned house, and Sadistic Autistic, you're gonna have to move out. Yeah. It was a great ult.
Yeah,
out of Chromatic.
There were no ults to combo with it, but I think what ended up mattering more was that there were no enemy ults to negate it, which is something that people don't really talk about a lot of the time with the Graviton Surge, but a lot of the time an enemy support ult is more important than what you're comboing it with, and Sadistic Autistic did not have those available.
Yeah, if they had known that ult was going to be up before they ran towards the point, they could have probably split, and so the ult would have been less effective, but they just weren't paying attention to that and kind of suicided right into
Chromatic, you know, obviously one of the best players we know, the smart enough guy to see that play and just pull the trigger without hesitation.
Yeah.
And wins his team the map. So when he makes it into, his first MLG or something, I hope he looks back on those Ilios plays he made in the BOL regular season fondly.
So next we'll be moving to Watchpoint Gibraltar. A very long map with a lot of choke points that can really hold up a team just about anywhere.
I love this map. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And
arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, as you had said before, with this Ilios being one of your first maps, this was my first map, and I enjoyed it because terrain evolves quite a bit as the level progresses, and there's just so much opportunity for so many champions to excel. You can run 3 tanks, 2 healers. About anything can end up working on this map.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the best maps in the game for changing your strategy as the map goes along, because every part of the map is so distinctive.
Yeah, and you end up seeing which team's better that they can adapt as they go. A team that just pushes from the beginning to the end ends up just meaning that the defense could never really contend with such a strong push. And like you said, with so many opportunities to change who they're playing as, there's a lot of opportunity for things to go right for the defense with so many choke.
We are going to have Sadistic, Autistic playing defense first here, and maybe having a little bit of fun as they're bringing out Crystallize on the Widowmaker, Ball of Sexy on the Torbjorn.
And we've got 3 tanks on the side of April Wizards and 2 healers, so they're going to try and just push through and be fat enough that the damage won't matter on Sadistic Autistic.
So we'll see. Watch out. We got the Torbjorn up in the corner here.
Well, in a very fast push, Think Twice almost goes down, but Salvo does go down.
But so does Zeticus. Anna, you're too old for the battlefield. Go home. And this
Tree jumping
not really
down.
doing anything.
Tree does not want this point to go any further than it already has, and he successfully puts up a hold with some great hooks.
My gift to you.
Kudadai goes wide, and is now sitting on a health pack.
And Turret finally goes down, but it did its damage there. Tree and Sexy with a really nice combo that stopped that cart for a while, but
Yeah,
Sadistic
Tree goes down after a
retaking
pull.
control.
Salvo is taking a nap. And we've got an Anna v Anna battle, as Crystallize is also shooting, sniping from the backside. And this cart's just pushing. I feel like if you're gonna let up this much, you just lost the first point, because it's hard to really hold after that. Ball Sexy does ult on Torbjorn, and didn't pick up. Oh, Tree with every death.
They put down some damage, but this has been a really long stagger fight after really the first fight, and it basically gives up this huge stretch up to the first point here. Although now finally Sadistic Autistic are very close here, but there are so many ults available out of the April Wizards, and yeah they're gonna just push through.
Yeah, they just couldn't contest anymore. And we've got 4 ults on the side of April Wizards.
They've had 5 and almost 6, and they get a pick from on Salvo just to add onto it.
Salvo, you need to be alive to be useful. We're commending you on Ilios.
This is kind of been a thing we've seen on Sadistic Autistic, where sometimes they just, I think, they outskill their opponents so often that they think they can just take bad fights and things will eventually work out, or they've never had to learn to communicate, and they just spent 2 minutes taking 3v6s. And the result is that April Wizards have been pushing this card without they finally found the balls now.
And Mercy got one of them back, and then they all went down again. So, really good push. Like we said earlier, the defense can do a lot, but they're just not making any choices to make a lot of changes or useful changes, and April Wizards just keeps pushing.
Now we see Salvo switching over to the Genji.
And goes down
not
again.
doing much. This guy is not
Crystallizes
moving.
sniping though, and he's taking people down.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that Sadistic Autistic is actually trying here. We haven't had a chance to really comment on that, but with the double sniper, the no tank comp they're currently running.
Yeah,
they've
no
been
tank, one healer.
Devolving into more and more chaos as this map has gone on.
And Valkyrier is flying around with his pistol out. So, yeah, he's just trying to shoot some people.
Yeah, they know they have secured their first seed by enough. Might as well have a little bit of fun. And for some people, getting wrecked is fun as long as you play the characters you like. And that's what Sadistic Autistic gonna go for on this first map. And,
yeah, that's another option.
The team names, they were backwards.
That's another option. You can have fun. You don't have to look cool. And Chromatic, get in another play of the game. I'm not sure which one this was.
Have fun and win. And this is, it's just that clusterfuck that was going on between the first and the second point where it was 6-0 on the ults. Chromatic doesn't even need to pop the Graviton Surge, just casually clicks on some heads.
Yeah, that was
Epic.
a really interesting defense that didn't work. But that's what you get for 1 healer and 5 damage dealers playing for fun.
I just want to say I really appreciate that the spectators can hit stay as a team.
Yeah,
That seems like some Blizzard oversight.
Yeah, and I don't know who else would be able to stay in, but the two of us, we have 6 total that can stay as a team. So I'm
I was
glad
really
we
ready
chose
for that
not
to just like screw everything up and throw us into a game of solo queue, to be honest.
That would have been hilarious. But yeah, we chose to stay as a team as casters. So
I mean, I don't believe in giving up on my teammates, and at this point we're 6 weeks deep. We might not be getting many wins on Mercy, sure, but we're sure as hell winning as casters.
exactly, and having fun and looking cool while doing it. You guys can't see me, but damn it, I look cool right now. I'm sure Swift does too.
I go for it.
You gotta dress for success, like even if they can't see you. So we'll see if the same thing comes out of April Wizards, if they're going for the fun defense. Labour is playing the Bastion, Chromatic on the Widowmaker, Think Twice on the Soldier. So they're running a pretty standard comp. We'll see where they want to defend and what they end up trying to do. Thrifty, mind you, is playing Attack Bastion. So I think we'll see him jump on the cart with Salvo and Valkyrior to also have a Torbjorn turret on the cart.
If on the last half of the last map of the last series of the regular season get to see Bastion v Bastion, I can say Season 2 of the BOL is a success. And TK Thrifty is going to let me live out my dream.
Yeah. We'll expect to see some people hop on the cart to help him out, but it's taken down immediately. No one wants to give him the shield.
He is not a blue-eye white Bastion, and it shows. As we see Winston jumping up to create a ton of disruption, but going to die for it. And this is looking like a decent hold from the April Blizzards here. As it's just Salvo as he takes a quick nap and then a longer nap as he dies.
Yeah, and the Torbjorn takes a dirt nap as well, but his turret lived a little bit longer to do nothing. And that cart's going uphill.
Do you think that Sadistic Autistic will cap this first point? I don't. I've made up my mind. I don't think they will.
A blind nut, squirrel can still find a nut, so it's possible. They just need to throw the turrets on the point, and they'll be good to go.
As I say that, despite not being in a bad position, it looks like April Wizards have backed off a lot. Looks like they want to call my bet here and give up this point, maybe.
Yeah, Thrifty was trying to hop on the cart and missed. So.
And those dash mechanics are not as easy as they look.
Yeah, jumping on the cart from downhill, he doesn't jump very high.
Enemy turret destroyed.
So he runs all the way up, and he's just gonna sit in the room and hope some unlucky fella comes to get a health pack. And he's just shooting out of the hole.
I actually really appreciated that setup. That would have been brilliant if it had done anything.
Yeah, and he realized it was a bad play and walked around back to the cart. So far, the Torbjorn turret's done more.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Oh, and Bloodborne takes down speed.
The Nano Boost Flame Spit play out of shooting time.
Yeah, that guy is on fire, but not in a good way.
The pain is coming.
To quote my favorite AD carry of all time, this is so troll.
So yeah, they're just shooting back and forth. No one's really near the cart to push it forward. Sword and Mace is just playing defense. Yeah, this is a giant game of who can be more troll out of Sadistic Autistic.
Oh, but here comes the ape shit. Not doing much, but he does get full brewer, and he at least sounds cool. But goes down to C9 Chromatic at the end of the fight.
Yeah, and Chromatic's just sniping away, doing his thing. Now we gotta crystallize. I don't know if you can be as good as Chromatic. Widowmaker.
I would
showing
not
up.
want to put my money on that. Chromatic's like the non-ironic one-shot, one-kill. That's just too
Yeah.
much pressure to keep up with for me to
I mean,
even
I'm
try.
watching, and nobody's fallen yet. Oh, Blabour helped Chromatic.
He is
So
in position. Oh, he abandoned the turret though.
then he turns into a tank, shooting lots of
And
things.
then he dies.
Shooter die, getting ulted, and falls down. Didn't do much with the nano boost. He does take down one though.
He out Reinhardt Salvo, which is gonna be pretty embarrassing to think about.
And I didn't
But-
see how, but Chromatic did go down. They're looking to cap this first point, and they do.
And the regular season gonna continue for at least 3 more minutes.
What a blessing in disguise. And now we have attack. Is that attack? Yeah, attack Symmetra out of all sexy.
I think it's more of a thing since the change.
Is it? I'm not
I
sure
don't know
yet.
if it's a thing, but it is definitely more of a thing. And it might actually be a thing. I've been hearing very good things about the new Symmetra, but not at this level of play.
I mean, at this level of play, anything's possible. We might have an Ana out damaging a Widowmaker on the side of Sadistic Autistic.
I mean, that's kind of cheating. He was bashing for a while.
No, I just mean as Ana, he might be doing more damage to Crystallize. Where's Thrifty? Oh, and Salvo getting nano boosted, and he's not picking anybody off quite yet, and he gets Sword Mace. He got one.
And meanwhile, Valkyrie, you're fucking up the back line as LeBron. Gonna go down at the end. That was the fastest I've ever seen, like the first 700 health of a Winston ult drop.
Yeah,
But
when
then he
Blabour
surprised
was
me with a
focusing
while
him.
after that.
And we've got some threats coming out in all chat. Bree running away, trying to buy some time for his team, and goes down. And a lot of people just going down. Chromatic. and Think Twice, Sword Mace doing work as 4 people go down on the side of Sadistic Autistic. Ooh, and a shield drop. Teleporter, mind you, and it goes down, but lots of damage on both sides.
Get in there.
2 ults on the
Man,
side
this is a clown fiesta.
It is. But the cart continues to lay idle, regardless of how far up the Sadistic Autistic pushes.
But Booer in a nice position to capitalize if anyone eventually gets to that cart.
And if he takes any damage, he just gets healed up because he's close enough to the health pack.
Yeah, but there are a lot of frames of getting out of turret form and stepping over to the left. So it's
Life is hard as a
dangerous.
robot. And
But it's not hard as
once it goes down
Chromatic.
again.
1 shot, 1 kill, 2 shot, 2 kill, 3 shot, 3 kill.
My money is on Blabor for damage this game. I don't know if you want to put money on it.
I mean, I feel good about it. You play bad?
I mean, and he's shooting a monkey who's got a lot of health.
Tactical visor
Sorry, that's a misnomer. He's an 8. He could have been a Yeti if he had the skin.
Anyone need some healing?
No one can hide.
And there's 15 seconds left, so yeah, the value lead continued for a little bit longer. And Tree jumps up to the point as May, doing amazing things, to then fall to a bastion.
Wow,
But I
Blabur.
feel like you just killed yourself there by doing that. Can't kill the May.
And that was it. The real play of the game is finding out that GG Easy doesn't auto filter. Or it does for some people.
It has to... What?
Must only be one of the teams, maybe? I don't know.
I can't do it either.
Just playing the game. He finds the heads and he clicks. I'm very proud of him. Incredible stuff on that bastion. I hope he enjoys his gold medals.
28% of his team's damage, 10,000. Short game. And I also want to say as a team, let's keep this cast going, even though the stream will be done.
I just
I'm
want
down
you
for
guys
that.
to know that the real golden nugget there was that Blabur on Bastion was nano boosted. He ulted as a tank, and still he had to take 3 shots just to kill Tree.
Unlucky, dude. Good thing that guy wasn't a blue eye white bastion.
So
But-
I think that's the end of the regular season.
Yeah,
Any
that is,
closing
guys.
remarks?
Thanks to everyone that tuned in. We're still not very good at this, but we are getting better, and hopefully by season 8 of the BOL, we are as good as we were in season 8 of the SBL. But
won't
we
hold
look
our
forward
breath,
to
though.
seeing you guys in the playoffs. If this goes anything like the very first season of the BOL did, the games get much more exciting when there is a clear winner and loser on these matches. So we will see you guys 4 weeks from today. We will
Have
be
a good night.
returning
Practice up.
where you will be getting wrecked by Mercy Shore, and we look forward to seeing you there.